Tonight on CTV News at 6. Concerns about safety.
We didn't want it to just focus on housing and homelessness. We wanted it to focus on municipal issues.
Two North Bay City councillors squabble over the actions of a committee. It's making a difference.
They're suffering out there on the street.
A donation in Sudbury to help the homeless. And demand is high.
About an hour and a quarter of your time, and it's worth it. You can help somebody out.
Plasma donations are needed right across the country.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you decided to join us on this Wednesday. A weapons complaint yesterday near Timmins ended with the arrest of a 20-year-old man. The Crawford Street area in South Porcupine was closed until 11:30 last night as police investigated the complaint. Officers received a call about an assault involving a weapon. They executed a search warrant at the home and arrested the man and seized a pair of pellet guns. He's charged with assault with a weapon, theft, and several other offenses. OPP in Timmins also netting nearly $14,000 in illegal drugs yesterday in an unrelated case. Police executed a search warrant at a residence in Monteith where they found cocaine, cash, and drug paraphernalia. Two people from Monteith were arrested and charged with trafficking. Well, two city councillors in North Bay are squabbling over the mandate and effectiveness of a committee. CTV's Eric Tashner talked to both of them.
Tanya Vraybosch is not holding back on how she feels about the City of North Bay's Community Safety and Wellbeing Committee.
Well, it is a joke, I think.
Vraybosch sits on the committee. At first, she says discussions were spirited and insightful, but the scope of the group has quickly narrowed.
They're doing the sunrise ceremony, they're doing the powwows, they're doing something else with Planet Youth, but they're not looking at the broader picture. We didn't want it to just focus on housing and homelessness. We wanted it to focus on municipal issues that were impacted by the health crisis.
An advisory group established in 2022, 16 community leaders from agencies like the Police Force, Health Unit, CMHA, city councillors, and other organizations would agree to meet quarterly and discuss safety and other well-being issues in the city. Vraybosch says the committee's intent was to gather as much information as possible and present one package to the province to highlight the overall cost when dealing with social disorder.
We keep saying it's the #1 priority, and we pat ourselves on the back saying that don't worry, we've increased the police services budget and we're doing these things on the side, but what are we really doing?
Committee chairperson and fellow city councillor Gary Gardner says the last meeting was in June 2025 to approve a revised version of the well-being plan. He's defending the work that is taking place behind the scenes.
Now we have security, we have outreach, now it's a permanent fixture. We have the police foot patrols downtown. We don't need another meeting to discuss whether we need more security.
We have a chair right now that says that there's nothing on the agenda. There's lots to talk about, and for those of us that want to have those conversations, maybe that person needs to step down and give the chair up to somebody else.
You can have me resign, doesn't matter. The committee has done its job.
Vraybosch is now requesting a survey where residents can express their own safety concerns. Just last year, a community safety and well-being survey found just under 80% of respondents at one point felt unsafe in the city. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
7 charges have been laid against a 19-year-old woman in Wikwemikong over the weekend. Police responded to a report of a stolen car, but when they attempted to pull the vehicle over, the driver struck 2 police cruisers and sped off. The teen driver crashed in Manitowoc, where she attempted to flee on foot. Police arrested the young woman and found her to be impaired and on probation. Police in North Bay are looking for a suspect after a snowmobile was stolen from the Seymour Street area Sunday around 2 a.m. Police released this video of the suspect, who is described as having a medium build. He was wearing a black jacket with a white logo to the left of the zipper and carrying a red backpack with a large white logo on it. The suspect was last seen traveling on Seymour Street toward the Highway 1117 intersection. The snowmobile is an orange Arctic Cat Riot with blue decals and Ontario plates. Anyone with information is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. The Timmins Chamber of Commerce hosted its annual Mayor's State of the City luncheon today. Michelle Boileau highlighted many of the key projects. and says it's time for everyone to think big. Details from CTV's Lydia Chubak.
Timmins Mayor Michelle Boileau addressed the local business community at the Chamber's annual Mayor's State of the City. And this year, she suggested it's time to set sights higher.
The message I really wanted to give to the community was that, this is the time to be thinking big. There are so many different stars that are aligning for us. And so the city's ready to start doing that. We have big plans, but we're going to need the help of the community to really be able to achieve them.
Boileau shared some of the key projects underway in the city, such as the Melrose Heights subdivision that will offer 241 residential lots and the construction of a new water tower in the city's east end. With all the city wants to accomplish, Boileau says the city doesn't have the capacity to do all the work on its own.
We're going to need to rely on our contractors, on our suppliers. Everyone's very busy, and so it's almost even a little heads up that, we're going to have work for all of you. This might be time to start thinking about growing, about expanding operations.
The Timmins Chamber of Commerce says an opportunity like the Mayor's State of the City gives the business community some perspective.
As you're going through your day-to-day, sometimes you're not always in the discussions as to what the priorities are for the municipality. I think this is a good time to be able to hear those, hear where the focus is, hear where the municipality is going and putting its efforts, and how as a community we're going to grow. And we heard today we need to walk as one, and I think more than ever we need to support each other through this growth.
The mayor's speech focused on the city's strengths and progress, with little mention of any challenges it's facing. The next municipal election is just 8 months away. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
And at last night's Timmins City Council meeting, a resolution was passed asking the mayor to reduce the overall increase before tax bills are issued. Councillor Steve Black says now that the municipal budget process is finished, taxpayers are looking at a 4.95% increase. After a 5-2 vote with 2 councillors absent, Council requested the mayor bring forward an amendment to utilize up to $1 million from a reserve fund to reduce the annual tax levy to below 4%.
And understanding that obviously we've been through the amendment and the veto process, my request is that we don't target the items that were added through the amendment process and look at other items in the budget or using reserves to offset that increase.
I do intend to work with our CAO, work with our treasurer, and be able to, kind of just fine-tune the numbers a little bit, sharpen the pencils before we do issue the final tax levy.
And the mayor says the final tax levy will be issued at either the next council meeting or in March. Moving now to the weather, and it's still cool out there. Are the minus double-digit highs going to remain for the rest of the week? Here's CTV's Rick Wyman with that answer.
Tony, really, the fact that taxes and cold weather go hand in hand in the month of February. We've got that going on. Just wait till you hit Saturday, because we'll get some sunshine but some colder weather. But we'll also get some precipitation in the next little while, a few days before Saturday rolls in. There you can see we'll really check out some of the amounts coming up in just a couple of minutes, and some of those current temperatures we'll get into a little bit later on as well. So again, precipitation in the offing for the next couple of days. Some details in just a couple of minutes. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. Northeastern OPP officers are getting special winter training this week. Officers are participating in snowmobile training in preparation for Snowmobile Safety Week. Police got a chance to learn navigation and operation techniques along with winter survival. That includes cold water exposure to teach officers how to rescue themselves in the event of accidentally going through the ice. Motorized Snowmobile Safety Week runs from February 9th to 16th. They are real lifesavers. Still to come on CTV News at 6. An organization donates ice huts to keep the homeless warm in Sudbury. But first, we're heading to Parry Sound. This live webcam is from Northern Creations. It's a shot of the town dock. It's minus 11 degrees. We're back after these commercial messages.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're facing. Joining us tonight in studio is Mayor Kathleen Rochelle from West Nipissing. Mayor, welcome.
Thank you. It's really nice to be back. It's been a little while since we've had the opportunity to chat like this, so I look forward to it.
Absolutely. We love every time you're in Sudbury here, too. Let's start by one of the big news. The big news, I think, that was something for your community and for you as mayor to celebrate water. Yes. There's some major water infrastructure coming to Verner. We talked a little bit about it on air, but there's going to be a new water source. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we were fortunate to receive word that we've received just over $18 million in a funding commitment from the provincial government under the Health and Safety Water Infrastructure Stream, and it's to address the ongoing water issues in Verner. I know it's been on the news in your channel and all across the media. It's been a problem in the community since about 2018, 2019, but without simple or inexpensive solutions, it's been one that's been very difficult for us to deal with. And all along we've said unless there's support from other levels of government, it just wasn't going to be feasible. So having the $18 million in funding announced really makes a difference. It's going to be about 75% of the project costs are covered, and it is to extend a pipeline from our main Sturgeon Falls water treatment plant through to Verner, replacing the aging infrastructure of the Verner water treatment plant that gathers its water from the VUV. So it's a huge project. It's just over 16 kilometers of pipeline going from where our line ends in Cache Bay currently through to Verner, and it will supply the approximately 330 households that are on the Verner water system with water directly from the Sturgeon River.
Yeah, you talked about what a big deal this is. I'm curious, will this add to capacity for housing and stuff too?
It will indeed. So along that corridor, it will open up a little bit more capacity, and it also allows us to expand kind of urban settlement or town lots within Verner as well.
I saw some confusion, and this was the municipality's words, about the camper bylaws. So
yes.
Set the record straight, what's going on with the camper bylaw?
Okay, so since about September 2024, the municipality has been in the process of updating our official plan. It's a large planning policy document required by the province. It's supposed to be updated every 10 years. It probably should have been done the last term of council, but didn't get done, and it's something that we've been working on. The second part of that process is to update the zoning bylaw in its entirety to match the new official plan. So we've had some recommendations from our staff and the consultants who have been working on the policy plans to add some language in around trailers, and that will be coming back in a draft for council to review.
Finally, I know a lot is being said right now about a tragedy in your community specifically right now, and it's under investigation, so I don't want to have you speak to it specifically. But in terms of this, I mean, is there anything you want to say to the community? Because I know the community right now is grieving.
Yeah, the fatal car accident from about a week and a half ago is absolutely devastating to the community. There's been multiple impacts. And it's heartbreaking for families and friends and loved ones when something so big happens within the community, especially when the people involved are so young as well. So my heart just goes out to all of the families and friends that are dealing with various aspects of the tragedy, including the family of the Sudbury woman who was killed. And it just really is heartbreaking for an entire community. And in a small place like West Nipissing, we're all so interconnected. Everybody knows somebody who knows somebody who's been touched by this. So I just want to give my condolences to the family and let all the families know that we're thinking about you.
Absolutely, as are we. Mayor Kathleen, thank you so much for coming here.
Okay, thank you.
That is Mayor Kathleen Thornrochamp from the municipality of West Nipissing.
Thanks for that, Ian. The Swakamock Native Friendship Center in Sudbury made a donation recently to help homeless people keep warm. CTV's Alana Everson has that story.
These insulated ice huts dot Energy Court. They were recently donated to people living outdoors in the Energy Court encampment.
Our people are cold. They're suffering out there on the street, and there's quite a large number of Indigenous population there in the encampment, as well as non-Indigenous. But overall, it's homeless, right? The homeless is who we did it for.
Sarah is her street name, and she is living in one of the huts with her boyfriend. She says the insulated ice hut makes a big difference for warmth.
The cold's bad here, so yeah. You would sleep out here, fall asleep out here on your own. You're gonna, with no blankets, even with blankets. The likelihood of you waking up is very slim. You're warm enough for 5 minutes and it's good for hours. It's good. Keeps us warm for sure.
The Swakamok Indigenous Friendship Center has been helping the homeless for over 30 years. The latest initiative to distribute insulated ice huts was done with funding through Reaching Home dollars.
For us, we didn't necessarily need the spotlight, the limelight, right? Because it's all about the homeless. So we didn't want to take away from that. We don't want to take away from that.
Some of the people living in the ice huts tell us they call themselves fellow otters of the Pro Lodge Club and say they are extremely grateful for the donation.
When I saw the tents and they were really beat up and flimsy, right? And I just couldn't help but we have to do something. So that was the only thing we can come up with. It's a temporary measure, mind you, but it was something we could do immediately.
Officials with the Swakamok Indigenous Friendship Center say they hope the temporary measure helps keep people warm until they get a place to call home. Alan Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
There is a growing need for plasma donations across the country, and the Sudbury branch of Canadian Blood Services is helping meet that demand. We get more from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
I was curious.
Steve Sullivan prepares for his 188th plasma donation. He's been donating blood and blood products regularly for the past 30 years.
It's about an hour and a quarter of your time, and it's worth it. You can help somebody out.
Plasma donations are similar to giving blood. In fact, plasma makes up about 50% of blood. This machine separates it from other blood products. The red and white blood cells and platelets are returned to the donor, while the plasma is collected into a bottle.
And it's actually sent off and manufactured into medications to treat people, with different blood cancers potentially, or some neurological diseases. A lot of immunocompromised people need plasma proteins to just help them. It's almost like a plasma, or like an immunity superpower.
According to Rose, there is an urgent need for more plasma donors.
So we're just discovering new uses for it. I think it's probably the biggest driver, I would imagine, for the need going up. The need in Canada, I think, is going up because we currently only collect about 30% of the plasma needed to make the medications to supply demand.
Canadian Blood Services says first-time donors should give themselves an hour and a half for the process, while regulars like Steve might only take 25 to 45 minutes from start to finish.
I just know it helps people out, and I enjoy it. The people here are very nice. Yeah, I get upset if I can't. I really do enjoy doing this. It's just fun.
Staff at the Canadian Blood Services in Sudbury say they have 8 appointments per hour Monday through Saturday. But to meet demand, those will increase to 12 per hour starting next week. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
And while you're rolling up and donating plasma, you can think about the weather forecast over the course of the next couple of days. A nice tie in there, Tony. Forecast radar, we've got some snow rolling in by tomorrow, a few centimeters, of course. And then again, we'll have more with periods of snow come Friday. Then we've got some sunshine and some colder temperatures. Speaking of temperatures, your currents right now, Moosonee -14, Cochrane -11, Timmins -9, and Kapuskasing, some light snow, -12, -8 in Chapleau, Wawa -8, and Sault Ste. Marie at -9. How about Parry Sound? A few clouds at -10. In North Bay this hour, -12, a few clouds. More of the same in Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake at -10. Greater Sudbury, Nickel Belt, -9 in Espanola, -7 in Elliott Lake, and Gore Bay, milder, -10 depending on the winds, of course. In Gore Bay, no appreciable wind conditions for tonight. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast and address the question of the day, all coming up just minutes away. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. She's taking a hard line. Next on CTV News at 6. Alberta's premier says she will withhold funding for judges without more input on selection. And a man is sentenced to life in prison in the attempted assassination of Trump. With calls for unity in the House of Commons, Prime Minister Mark Carney met today with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. It comes as a Conservative MP makes a solo trip to Washington. CTV's Michael Couture has more on the meetings in Ottawa and Washington.
Good to see you. This is not hope. This is not hope over here. Well, look at this.
The Conservative leader with a dig at his Liberal colleagues ahead of a meeting with the Prime Minister.
We have been working to fast track anything that we believe, however modest, might make life a little more affordable, a little safer, and our economy a little stronger. So it's he that is holding up the show.
A senior government source tells CTV News the Prime Minister was hoping to talk about nation-building measures, something the Liberal government feels is critical as Canada prepares for the review of CUSMA.
In fact, we need to work together.
Conservative MP Jamil Javani, meanwhile, is heading to Washington this week on a solo mission to improve trade relations between Canada and the U.S. He's a longtime friend of U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance.
I haven't talked to him in about a year about those issues. I would like to use that relationship for the good of the country, but I also don't want to interfere in what the Prime Minister's doing.
Javani was pushing for a meeting with the Prime Minister, but he did get one with the Minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade.
Minister LeBlanc gave a briefing to Mr. Javani, who I don't believe is the trade critic for the opposition, certainly not the Minister of International Trade, nor the Prime Minister.
But some members of Cabinet are casting doubt on whether Javani can or will help.
I really hope that he spoke about the closure of GM in his writing, because Ingersoll has been closed for now 4 months, and I haven't heard him once.
While a number of Conservative MPs are confident Javani can use his contacts to make a difference, Poilievre says he told his MP the most important thing is to fight for the jobs in his community. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says her government will hold back funding for new judicial appointments if Ottawa doesn't give the province more say on who is picked. In a letter to Prime Minister Mark Carney made public yesterday, Smith says the appointment process for judges needs reform. She wants the province to be consulted on future appointments to Alberta's Court of King's Bench, the Alberta Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court of Canada. To fill vacancies, Smith wants to see a special advisory committee created that would consist of 2 people recommended by the province. Justice Minister Sean Fraser was asked about this earlier today. Here's what he had to say.
At risk of stating the obvious, it's essential that we have a judiciary who's able to make decisions without fear or favor amongst those who have the power to appoint or, in theory, remove a judge from the bench. When you start to look at how you can protect that independence, certainly ensuring that there's not political threats about the resources that are going to be made available to them to do their jobs is part of it. But another part is actually have integrity in the appointment process to begin with.
There are 3 vacancies on the Alberta Court of King's Bench. The NDP Justice critic says Alberta's courts are already underfunded by Smith's government, which has been leading to delays. Top NHL prospect and Penn State player Gavin McKenna has been charged with felony assault along with harassment and engaging in a fight after an incident Saturday. Details surrounding the incident have not been released. If found guilty, McKenna could face more than 10 years in prison. You can visit ctvnews.ca for the latest on this story. The man convicted of attempting to assassinate Donald Trump less than 2 months before the 2024 U.S. election has been sentenced to life in prison. 59-year-old Ryan Routh was found guilty last September on 5 charges, including attempted assassination. Prosecutors had recommended a life term, while Routh asked the judge to impose a 27-year sentence. Prosecutors said that Routh's crimes, quote, undeniably warrant a life sentence because he had plotted the assassination for months. Prosecutors also said Routh was willing to kill anyone who got in the way while expressing no regret and no remorse. Canada has updated its travel advisory for Cuba. urging people to exercise a high degree of caution as the country faces worsening power and fuel shortages. To reduce pressure on the electrical network, Cuba schedules long daily power cuts, but Ottawa says nationwide outages can still occur unexpectedly and may last hours. The updated advisory also warns shortages of fuel and many basic necessities have made traveling across the island extremely difficult, with public transportation frequently disrupted. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, do you know who that guy is standing next to me?
No, I don't know him.
That's me with hair, because someone asked me the other day, they said, Rick, did you ever have hair when you were younger? I said, what do you think? And they didn't believe me, so I actually had to show them this picture. I think I was about 17, 18 at a golf tournament with hair. That's me before I lost it all. So the proof is right here. So you don't have to ever ask me again if I had hair before. Let's move on to forecast radar. Glad you like that one, Tony. We've got some snow coming up in the forecast. Again, a couple of centimeters in the Sault for tomorrow. Flurries off and on throughout the Northeast, and periods of snow come Friday. Then it gets colder on Saturday with sunshine. Overnight conditions, take a look. Wind chill right across the board in Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, and the North Bay. As well, Moosonee, Caphurst, Wawa, Gore Bay, and Perry Sound. Now your 7-day numbers. Let's have a look. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, wind chill tomorrow morning, -23. Periods of snow Friday. Here we go. Sunny skies, but colder Saturday. Chance of snow Sunday, Monday, and some sun and cloud Tuesday with a high of -7. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, wind chill tomorrow, -15. A few centimeters of snow as well. Chance of snow Friday, sunny skies Saturday, but colder. Chance of snow Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all the way up to -4 Monday and Tuesday. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, wind chill, wake up tomorrow morning, -27. Periods of snow Friday, -8. We've got sunshine and colder temperatures, -19 Saturday. Sunday, chance of snow. Monday, chance of snow. And -8 on the warm-up Tuesday with sun and cloud. Normally, your temperature at this time of the year, -8, -9 degrees. Then there's Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. -16 when you wake up tomorrow. Periods of snow on Friday, -6. Cooling down to -18 Saturday with sunshine. Sunday, chance of snow. Monday, chance of snow. -12, -8, and -7 on Tuesday with sun and cloud, which is almost close to being normal for this time of the year. Now we'll look at North Bay and West Nipissing. Wind chill weather tomorrow morning, -26. Some cloud cover. Periods of snow on Friday, -5. -18 with the sunshine Saturday, which is copy and paste across the entire, across the entire Northeast. Sunday, chance of snow. Chance of snow Monday, -8, and -7 Tuesday with some sun and cloud, which is really your normal for this time of the year. Now let's go to our pick of the day, the real pick of the day. Thank you so much, Wendy Lynn Hill. The ice walls grow cap in the Sault Ste. Marie area. Take a look at the ice formations. I love ice formations at this time of the year. You can see them on Maley Drive as well. But Wendy Lynn, thank you so much for that. Still to come, good story here. Greater Sudbury former OHL player is designing the Great Canadian Hockey Jersey. That story coming up next.
With the average cost of a new vehicle about $65,000, if you're buying one, you want to make sure it's built to last. You also want to be safe and reliable, as well as a good value. Consumer Reports just released its top 10 list for 2026. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Every day, Consumer Reports tests new vehicles at its state-of-the-art facility, measuring everything from safety and performance to fuel efficiency and cargo space. Beyond the test track, its member surveys give exclusive real-world insights into reliability and owner satisfaction from about 380,000 vehicles this year.
The CARS team looks at data from our testing and from member surveys to determine what are the 10 vehicles that stand out most in their class. These are the vehicles that are easy recommendations to make and a great starting point for any car shopper.
SUVs are as popular as ever. This year, the Subaru's Crosstrek and Forester, along with the Toyota Grand Highlander, were all top picks. If you're looking for something more upscale, top luxury SUVs include the Lexus NX and BMW X5.
We also have a couple great sedans on the list with the Honda Civic and Toyota Camry. Both of these performed well in our tests, get terrific fuel economy, and are very reliable.
For drivers who want a truck that's easy to live with, the Ford Maverick is the top choice for best small pickup, and the Ford F-150 makes the list too, the first full-size pickup in years to score high enough to be a top pick. The Tesla Model Y is the top pick for EVs. And for the first time, all 10 of Consumer Reports' 2026 top picks are available as hybrid or EV versions. All of the top picks also come standard with key safety features, including automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection. Any of these top picks would be a good place to start if you're looking for a new vehicle, as they're considered outstanding in their respective categories. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Advocates are calling on the federal government to take action to pass an online safety act to protect kids from the extremes of the internet. CTV's Austin Lee reports.
For kids today, it's impossible to envision an internet-free world.
It's where we learn, it's where we play, and it's also where we connect with our friends, maybe where we live. But it's also where kids get bullied, where we see things we were never ready for, and it's where mistakes can follow you forever.
And although social media has its benefits,
I've made international spaces and chats where we're able to create projects, share perspectives, broaden our horizons and understanding of different issues.
in a world connected through technology, there are real risks.
I've definitely seen the impact social media has had on youth, has had on loneliness, has had in the education sphere as well.
The federal government's proposed Online Harms Act, Bill C-63, expired in January of last year after former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau resigned and prorogued Parliament. But advocates have not stopped their calls to protect kids from being exposed to harmful and graphic online content.
We're pleading with government to act, to do what we know is right for our children, to table this legislation and to act, and to stop with delaying tactics like online studies. You know, we have mountains of evidence.
In Australia, you must be at least 16 years old to access the 10 most popular social media platforms, such as Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. In France, a similar age restriction is being reviewed, and here in Canada, some advocates want to take things a step further.
We need much broader legislation that looks at the comprehensive digital environment that kids live in, and that really holds the entire tech industry, not just the social media industry, but the whole tech industry to account.
What that legislation could look like is still unclear. In a statement to CTV News, Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture Mark Miller says in part, our government intends to act swiftly, adding they will have more details to share in due course. Some students say it should be a balancing act.
Finding a middle ground, I guess, finding how to place regulations without completely stripping the youth of their ability to navigate those platforms.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
Sickle cell disease is a brutal blood disease that can cause major pain and death. And as CTV's Pauline Chan explains, a mother is hoping to raise awareness about the disease after losing her son.
Rashawn Gabriel was just 24 when he died of sickle cell disease. His mother spoke of the hereditary condition he fought against his whole life and the importance of blood products in easing his suffering.
I think that it's important that everybody does hear my story and learn how important it is to give blood, so that's why we're here today.
Because of the mutation that causes sickle cell disease, the hemoglobin tends to crystallize. That damages the red blood cell. That causes the red blood cell to block up blood vessels, and that means that oxygen delivery downstream can't occur.
Gabriel Badejo, who was diagnosed at age 1, says it's an extremely painful condition.
Sometimes you have a slow flare-up, sometimes you can have immediate flare-up. You know, I can be standing here right in front of you perfectly fine, and 5 minutes later, I might not be able to walk because I'm in so much pain.
Chloe Jang is with SCAGO, the Sickle Cell Awareness Group of Ontario. She says sometimes sickle cell patients get whole blood, other times they do a red cell exchange, which gives the patient normal red blood cells.
For a typical person, they need about 7 to 12 bags of blood for every time they do this exchange therapy. And you imagine one person who donates blood, they donate 1 unit of blood every time. So you can imagine the magnitude of blood that one person might need in a year.
Today's event also included education sessions to learn more about sickle cell and blood donation. SCAGO and Canadian Blood Services is especially reaching out to healthy Black men as potential donors. For more information, go to blood.ca. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
McMaster Children's Hospital in Hamilton says helmets should be worn while tobogganing, citing concerns about head injuries. The hospital says it had multiple incidents in January where children suffered traumatic injuries after colliding into trees. It says head injuries are the most common and especially concerning because they can lead to lasting brain damage or cognitive difficulties. Researchers say children between the ages of 6 and 10 experience the highest proportion of injuries. They are young and curious. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Rocks and Rings is aiming to introduce the sport of curling to the next generation of Olympians. Children's winter sports are dominated by a few well-known activities, but curlers in Sudbury are introducing kids to a new option. That story from CTV's Madison Merrier.
Olympic curling has begun today, and Rocks and Rings is making it their mission to introduce the next Olympian to the sport.
It's really just to introduce the sport to a next generation. Our sport is dying off a bit, and we really want it to get back going as it's such an amazing sport.
There's 20 to 25,000 kids in Sudbury between the age of 5 and 18. And out of that whole group, there's less than 200 that curl in Sudbury. Less than 1%. And so there's a huge opportunity. It's affordable, etc.
About 12 schools in Sudbury will be using the indoor rocks, teaching around 2,000 students how to curl.
The key is to start curling when you're young. That's why we're intent on working with juniors in Sudbury.
Thought this was really fun, and I liked the sport. It was really interesting, and I hope to do it again soon.
The advantage is that it slides and you can get to knock other people, and I love knocking down people from the things.
Rocks and Rings was also working with Tracy Fleury, who has left Sudbury to curl at the Winter Olympic Games in Italy.
I think most people don't know that curling is an Olympic sport. It's not that popular, so when they do hear that even someone from Sudbury is going, it really hits close to home, and it's awesome to see, for sure.
Idlewild, Coppercliff, and Onaping Falls will be opening up their curling clubs free of charge on February 15th for children aged 6 to 12 to try curling on ice. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
A Sudbury designer and former OHL player recently had the opportunity of a lifetime. He was chosen as the designer of the Great Canadian Jersey, a symbol of national unity ahead of the Olympic Winter Games. CTV's Lindsay Alick has more.
Cameron Lizotte is coming off the high of creating not one, but 5 patchwork jerseys that bring together pieces from across the country.
It was definitely a fun project, playing around with fabrics, and it was just super cool to see like places from all over Canada, people donating from everywhere, from Gander all the way from the Yukon, Northwest Territories. It was just super cool to like see these teams all come together on one jersey.
From beer leagues to Connor McDavid's minor league jersey, Lizotte says having his Nickel City Suns jersey as part of the project was a must.
It was just really cool and special to like have hockey still be such a big part of my art career as a designer. So it was, for me, the perfect project.
He says the initiative has provided exciting opportunities for the future.
I would hate to name drop yet, but I'm very, very excited about a legend that would like me to work on their memorabilia, which is really cool. Also, there's amazing people around the community that wants custom work.
Lizotte recently opened a studio in Sudbury, which will allow him to offer lessons, alterations, and repairs.
It's difficult to pursue something when you don't see all the results every day, right? But if you just keep at it for years on years, it'll pay off, just like how this project came about. It's just that only happens because I didn't give up on chasing my dreams.
Lizotte says he spent 2 weeks creating the project in Toronto with a team. And while he says he's grateful for the opportunity, Sudbury will always be his home. He says he dreams of one day having a fashion show at Science North. Lindsay Alex, CTV News, Sudbury.
Only one game in Northern hockey this evening. The Sioux Greyhounds of the OHL are on the road to take on the Saginaw Spirit. Both teams are coming off tough losses to Eastern Conference teams over the weekend. Game time is 7:05. The opening ceremony kicks off this Friday at the Milano Cortina Winter Games. Excitement is already sky high for athletes, families, and fans. But the weather so far has been less than golden. CTV's Heather Butts reports.
A constant rain soaking the city, turning popular landmarks into a sea of umbrellas. In the north, it meant snow for the mountain regions just in time for the global event, drawing Olympic fans from around the world, including the Grandillo family from Montreal.
This is the 30th birthday trip, kind of a bucket list item for us. The opening ceremonies are on my birthday, on my 30th birthday, and being Italian, it just seemed like the most fitting event.
Though they expected more Olympic flair to be flooding the streets, not rain.
To be honest, it's not really in your face. We do see it here and there at corners, but we haven't really captured that vibe yet. I'm sure it's coming though.
Their sights set on snowboarding and hockey. With the games spread out, Milan will only see part of the action.
Per il momento no.
No?
No.
Few crowds right now, he says, but they are expected. Organizers say all competition venues are fully operational. Still, construction at the hockey rink isn't complete.
Do we have every single space in that venue finished? No. And is it absolutely needed for the games? No.
Aside from the main facilities, there are sure signs something monumental is about to happen here, drawing more than just regular tourists.
Here's something else adding to the energy. Media from around the world, such as myself, here to cover this event. Take a look at the rooftop studios using the historic Duomo as a backdrop.
Milano, Cortina. We only just got here and we were like, wow, everything's Olympics. It's great. It's so much fun. I love it.
The organizing committee is pointing to the torch relay as a driver for national excitement.
This is fun to be in an environment with like thousands of people and all here for just one simple reason. It's fun.
That momentum is also reflected in demand from spectators, with roughly 1.2 million event tickets already sold and only a limited number remaining for the opening ceremony. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan.
It's time for entertainment news. Here's David Daniel.
Hey, wake up. Wake up!
So why are we here, Lucky? It's like anything else. A series of bad decisions over an extended period of time.
Here's your first look at Lucky, starring Anya Taylor-Joy as a con artist on the run. The limited series, based on the novel by Marissa Stapley, debuts on Apple TV July 15th.
We gotta get used to one another. And we can't do that unless we trust each other. I want to win worlds. And I want to win it with you.
Netflix seems to have a winner with Finding Her Edge. The streamer says the figure skating romantic drama has been in its top 10 since debuting last month, and Netflix has renewed the series for a second season.
Brace yourself. The pain is coming. I can taste it. Cut!
Oscar winner Adrian Brody finds his flair for drama unneeded in a Super Bowl spot for TurboTax. He's dismayed to find the company's experts make taxes drama-free. The full ad is due to play just before halftime. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Home prices continue to slide in Canada's biggest city. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more on that.
Toronto home sales fell 19% last month from January of 2024, and the average selling price is down as well. It's the first time the average selling price dropped to under $1 million since January of 2021. It's currently $973,000, and a home now spends an average of 45 days on the market. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board says it expects the weakness to last through the first half of the year. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.17. West Texas Intermediate is up almost $2 to 65.14. Western Canadian Select is up to 47.92, and the TSX gained 182 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold is up $23.32, closing the day at $49.69.13 U.S. an ounce. Silver up $3.06. Copper moved ahead 9 cents, and nickel down 11 cents, ending the day at $7.73 U.S. a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Okay, let's begin with the wind chill factor for tomorrow in Sudbury. -17 when you wake up, -9 your high. Some flurries. Timmins, -7, -27 with the wind chill in the morning. -15 in the Sault, a few centimeters of snow, and -4 for the day, your expected high. North Bay, -26. Wake up wind chill, -25 in Parry Sound, and -24 in Temiskaming Shores. So again, some flurry activity for tomorrow. Periods of snow on Friday. Then it gets colder with the sunshine Saturday. Tony?
Thanks so much, Rick. And finally, a pampered pup with a Toronto connection has won the world's most coveted show dog prize.
For Best in Show at the 150th Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show is the Doberman Pinscher.
Penny won Best in Show last night. The 4-year-old competed against 2,500 other dogs, spanning more than 200 breeds. Her co-owner is Greg Chan of Toronto. He says Penny is very demanding and very smart, but is also a pleaser and will do anything for food. The winner gets a trophy, ribbons, and bragging rights. And we leave you with video from the Westminster Dog Show. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.